Just ahead.
I'm David Wisnett. Planning on doing some Christmas shopping, maybe going to the mall or going downtown? Let me suggest something to you that you probably haven't thought about.
A new title sponsor takes over the Charlotte ball game. I'm Kate Johnson. Coming up tonight at 5:30, hear how this translates into bigger and better teams and possibly more money for the city.
A fire destroys this apartment building in South Charlotte, leaving 11 people homeless. I'm Sarah Batista. Tonight, you'll hear from neighbors who witnessed it.
This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 5 starts right now.
Now at 5 o'clock, record cold weather seizing the Carolinas. This is the fountain at Winthrop University. It is frozen solid. And it's going to be even colder tonight. Good frosty evening. Welcome. I'm Paul Cameron.
And I'm Maureen O'Boyle. It's nice to have you with us. Here's why it is so cold outside. The jet stream has dropped way down to the south, allowing frigid air to pour in from Canada, and the coldest is yet to come. We have team coverage of this brutal weather. Jim Lytle will have the forecast in just a moment.
But we begin tonight with Dedrick Russell and people who have nowhere to turn in this cold. Dedrick.
Yeah, well, Paul, you know, the people I found today, they do have some people to turn to for help, but they opt not to do it and not to use those services. You know, they have decided to brave these frigid cold temperatures by living in a tent. Welcome to Charlotte, Tent City, USA. We are told about 7 people live in these tents, one by the name of Tammy. She lives in this tent with her husband. They came to the Queen City from Florida about 2 months ago. That's when the couple started living like this.
We come down here, he had a buddy down here promising work, got down here, the buddy had disappeared, nothing here, so we're stuck here.
We didn't have to tell her the weather has been brutal. You can see how cold it is just by looking at Tammy's puppy shiver.
It's not bad. These temperatures are really cold, but if you cover up, stay bundled up real good, you'll make it.
This is how they bundle up at night.
5 blankets on top and another sleeping bag.
And this is how they stay warm at night with this burner.
It don't take but a few minutes to get the whole tent warm in there.
Tammy says it's just like family out here. They eat together.
We have fish fries out here, barbecue ribs, everything.
And they protect each other.
We all look after each other pretty much up on this little spot right here. There's like 4 little campsites here. We all look after each other's back. We always got 911 if we need something.
They have cell phones, but when it comes to protection from this weather, everybody's on their own pretty much. The couple could live with one of their 4 daughters, but they choose not to.
I have daughters, but I don't let them know stuff like this. That's not nothing you put on your kids.
Despite these living conditions, their outlook on life is not cold.
Oh, I keep my spirits up. Got the Lord above to do that for me all the time.
Now, I did ask Tammy why not her and her husband just simply go to a shelter. Her response, she tells me that it's too crazy inside the shelter, and she says it's more peaceful right where she is in the tent. Now speaking of shelters, I'm going to take you inside a shelter. They're filling up, as you can imagine. I'm going to take you inside the men's shelter, and that's coming up all new on WBTV News at 6. But for now, we're live in Center City. Dedrick Russell, WBTV, on your side.
Quite a story there, Dedrick. Thank you. Now, police say it depends where those tent cities are set up to determine if the homeless are breaking the law. Cops have come out to that particular tent city we showed you, but they left the tent city alone. Right now, Jim Lytle is in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, Jim, on a night like tonight, we're thinking about people like Tammy. How cold will it get out there?
Yeah, the record low for the day is 14. We're going to be close to that record by tomorrow morning. In fact, with clear skies and winds kind of dying down a little bit, that will allow the temperature to drop even more than the last few days that we've seen around here. So get ready for it. It's going to be a very cold start to our Wednesday morning. And for the next few hours, it's going to be cold too, but nothing like tomorrow morning. 31 right now, so that's going to be balmy compared to our forecasted low of 16 and near record low. 27 degrees for 7 p.m. and 25 degrees for 9 p.m. And all those conditions will continue for the next couple of days. We have a little system coming our way that will give us a good chance of some light freezing rain come Thursday morning. That'll be the next thing we'll be watching on our radars here in the First Alert Weather Center. Paul, Maureen.
Well, Jim, as you know, when it's this cold outside, any moisture that gets on the road can quickly freeze.
That's why you need to watch out for the old black ice tonight. Good reminder, black ice looks like water on the road surface. It's not. It's frozen solid, and it can quickly send you out of control. Now, remember, if you hit black ice, don't slam on your brakes. Just take your foot off the gas, easily coast to a stop. If you lose control, remember, turn in the direction of the skid. Here's Jacinda Garabito in the First Alert Traffic Center right now.
Thanks, Paul. Your First Alert Traffic is brought to you by Paramount Volkswagen of Hickory. I'm sorry. There is still congestion on I-85 northbound, and it's actually got worse. It's from exit 45 to 49, starting at Concord Mills and trickling all the way down to Harris Boulevard. This is northbound traffic in this area. Use North Tryon Street as your alternate. There are no accidents to report. It's just good old-fashioned afternoon traffic. There is an injury accident to report to you on our secondary. This is on Brookshire Boulevard and North Hoskins Road, creating a lot of congestion on Brookshire due to this injury accident. Just jump on Rosel's Ferry Road as your alternate in this area. Paul, Maureen,
all right, Jacinda, thank you. Sky 3 over huge flames, lots of smoke shooting from the South Charlotte apartment complex this morning. The 3-alarm fire destroyed a building at the Rayfield Village Apartments on Rayfield Drive. Now people who live there are searching for a warm place to spend the night. WBTV's Sarah Batista, she joins us now live. So, Sarah, first off, is everyone okay?
Everyone is okay, Maureen, and that is the good news in all of this. And it really helped that a lot of people were at work when this fire broke out. Firefighters haven't released a cause yet, but if you look at the building behind me, it looks like it started towards the rear on the 3rd floor, and from there it spread quickly. As the smoke and flames poured out of the 3-story apartment building next door, Dustin Adams knew he needed to act quickly.
I went up to the 2nd level of my building, grabbed a fire extinguisher, and went over to that building.
Firefighters arrived to the scene within 3 minutes, shortly after 10:30 this morning. Immediately, they evacuated the building and worked to tame the fire. Around that time, Chris Morris got a call from his roommate. A fire was spreading to their apartment.
She grabbed the dog and ran out. And then by the time I got home, the fire trucks had got here, but it was really blazing.
Holly Haynes worried her building could be next.
A lot of people upset, a lot of people crying, a lot of people worried about, whether it's going to reach their apartment or not.
It took firefighters nearly an hour to put the fire out. A partial roof collapse forced them to evacuate.
We were grateful to get firefighters out ahead of a dangerous situation.
Neighbors worried about their own apartments moved whatever they could grab, but some families lost everything less than 2 weeks before Christmas. Still, Morris says those things can be replaced.
My roommate's out and my dog, and that's life. Everything else is replaceable at work every day. You make more money to buy all the materialistic things. But you can't replace human life.
So I'm told there were 5 units affected, 11 people displaced, and that man that you just heard from told me that the apartment complex has actually put him up in a furnished apartment, so he was very grateful for that. Neighbors have also been lending a helping hand. For now, we're live in South Charlotte. Sarah Batista, WBTV, on your side.
Sarah, thank you, and it's times like these that we really depend on the Red Cross. Volunteers from the Carolinas chapter of the American Red Cross rushed to the scene this morning. They are helping the victims find shelter and anything else they need to make it through the next few days. If you're interested in helping, you want to reach out. These people are going through a difficult time. You can call the Red Cross at 704-347-8352 or online at redcrosshelps.org. You can find all that information on our website at WBTV.com. Paul?
Well, the story that continues to haunt us, this teenager, Delvonte Tisdale, somehow made it onto the tarmac at Charlotte Douglas Airport, climbed into the wheel well of a U.S. Airways jet bound for Boston. Despite that, the people who run our airport say they do not need a special security review.
But has anything been changed since you first heard about this possibility?
I'm going to talk about our security procedures with you.
I'm not asking you to talk about the procedures, but have you done anything?
I'm not going to talk about security procedures.
That's Jerry Orr, the aviation director of the airport, refusing to talk any specifics with our reporter Tom Rousey last night. Orr says security is under constant review, so he says there's no need to look at exactly how Tisdale got on the tarmac. But it's your safety that's at risk, and that's why we're not letting the story go. Our Jeff Atkinson is asking questions, trying to find out how Tisdale got there. They'll have that all new coming up at 6 o'clock.
And coming up here at 5, sub-freezing temperatures and a vandal with too much time on his hands. The illegal prank turned this street into a sheet of ice.
I'm David Wisnett. Planning on doing some Christmas shopping, maybe going to the mall or going downtown? Let me suggest something to you that you probably haven't thought about.
And next at 5, the Blue Ridge Parkway. Beautiful, picturesque, and deadly. It's at the top of a new national list, one we shouldn't be so proud of. This is WBTV Live and on your side at 5 o'clock.